Hi, this is Trepacer, and welcome to Trepacer's Saturday Horror Reviews, episode 13, I believe. And last week I did King Kong Escapes, so why not continue my giant monster tradition? King Kong, this is 1962, I believe. Let's make sure I got that right. Yeah, it came out in 1962 in Japan, but it came out in 63 in the U.S. Okay, King Kong versus Godzilla. And, I'm a big giant monster movie fan, so and of course I grew up watching this. They used to show this like every year. I don't know if it was every Easter, every holiday on Channel 9, local Channel 9 TV here in New York. They show the giant monster movies, and King Kong vs. Godzilla was of course a favorite. I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or maybe it was every Thanksgiving they showed it. But anyway, King Kong versus Godzilla. Now, basically, the story in this one is you have a character named Mr. Taco. Taco, yeah, Taco. He's the head of I think this pharmaceutical company that sponsors TV shows, and all his TV shows for his network. The ratings are horrible. Nobody's watching his program, so he's desperate to get some kind of a ratings boost. So he finds out that there's a scientist who went to this island called Faroe Island, and he discovered that there was these berries that have great properties. I guess they call it anesthetic polish. They don't make people. It's good for anesthesia, but they only grow on that island. But he also heard of a myth. The doctor said there's supposed to be a giant monster who lives on that island. Okay, and he thinks Taco said, "Oh, this would be great to if I send two of his reporters there, and to find this big monster, and they can capture it, and he can bring it back and use it to boost up the publicity on it and get ratings for his network." Okay, so he sends the two guys out, to do that, to go to the island with their little guide, and they're supposed to find out who this giant monster is and capture him and bring him back. And at the same time, you have an American submarine Seahawk that's out. I think it's supposed to be out. They notice all these icebergs are melting, and they come around and they see this big, gigantic one, and they see, they think that's the source of all the heat, where it's coming from, and they actually crash into it. And of course, but this iceberg contains actually Godzilla, who was trapped there before, and he actually breaks free, okay, and destroying the submarine at the same time. Okay, and Americans, the sub that goes to rescue, because they sent out a beacon before before they sink the sub, and the American rescue helicopter sees it, and he sees Godzilla breaking out, of course, and then you see Godzilla, go to the nearby Arctic basin and just level it, okay, and destroy, melt the tanks and everything, and he's on his way. You see him marching on his way to Tokyo. And at the same time, you go back to the Faroe Island where you see the two reporters, and you have one that's a scaredy cat, and the other one that's sort of brave, and they kind of bribe the local tribe leaders, give them cigarettes and stuff, and show them a transistor radio, say this is magic, and can we stay? And they say, okay, chief says you can stay a day, and in the meantime, okay, you see the appearance of a giant octopus on the island, and basically attacks some of the natives. And then, of course, this brings about this giant monster they've been talking about and they've been hearing about. And of course, that giant monster is King Kong. Okay, and he comes along and he basically throws a bunch of rocks at the giant octopus and picks it up and throws it around and basically gets it to run off. Okay, and at the same time, Kong comes and he sees that the juice that they made out of that berry that has that I guess anesthetic qualities, and he sees it in the big drums, and Kong picks it up and drinks it, and of course passes out. Okay, he drinks about 4 or 5 big things of that and passes out. Okay, and of course the two reporters say, okay, this is the perfect opportunity. Now we can take Kong back. Well, and somehow, don't ask me how they did this, but they strap him to a tank, to a big gigantic raft. Okay, I don't know how long it took them to build it, but let's go with it. And they actually built, strap Kong to the raft while he's unconscious. and they're heading back to Tokyo. And of course, Mr. Taco comes, he lands, he comes onto the ship, he flies to the ship, and of course he's excited because he's, oh, this is Kong, this will be great for my network. Kong is here, and this is fantastic. But of course, the Japanese are petrified because Godzilla is heading, toward, Tokyo, and of course they try to stop Godzilla. They even set a couple of traps. They dig a hole and put some explosives in it, but that doesn't stop Godzilla. They even set up these electrical wires things, to see if Godzilla would, that would beat him back. But that still, he just goes around it. And at the same time, you see the Japanese, the military. They come to, Mr. Taco on the ship and say, "Listen, you got to cut Kong low. You can't have Kong coming into the city and destroying the city. You can't have him come to the city because he'll destroy. Between him and Godzilla, they'll destroy Tokyo. So they can't do it. So they actually accidentally, on purpose, blow up because the raft that he's on is dynamite, and they actually blow it, and it sinks, and King Kong actually goes in the water. But of course, he's not hurt. But he's free now, and he heads towards Tokyo. So you have these two great forces heading toward each other, and then the first time they actually meet, they have a little minor skirmish where Kong sees him, and Godzilla sees him, and Godzilla basically kind of gives him some of that subatomic breath. Of course, Kong is kind of stunned by it. And then he kind of walks off after a little bit. He kind of walks away, scratching his head, literally, not figuring this out. Of course, and he walks away. And then, meanwhile, Godzilla continues his rampage. And they still have this in the back of their mind that we could use the atomic bomb as a last resort. They have that in their back pocket, but they have another plan. They come up with another plan. They said, what if we grab Kong again, because Kong has gone the other way. We grab him, we knock him out, take some more of that berry juice and knock him out, strap him to these balloons and airlift him to where Godzilla is again, and let them fight again, and hopefully they destroy each other. Okay, and then that's, of course, you have them. That's exactly what they do, and they let Kong go, and him and Godzilla are battling again. Trade blows left and right. Of course, Godzilla gets the best of them at first until, of course, Kong is knocked out, but of course there's electrical storm comes, and of course, as they say in this movie a couple of times, electricity makes Kong strong, and of course he gets struck by electricity, and then he starts kicking Godzilla's ass, basically, and then you see him, they're battling back and forth. He's beating up, Godzilla, and they both tumble off into the water, and then all you see is Kong, going off. And of course, you don't see Godzilla, but you assume that Godzilla's still alive. He maybe just knocked out from Kong kicking his ass in the water. And this, like I said, this is a childhood classic. It is a childhood classic in my way. So we used to watch this every year when it came on TV. King Kong vs. Godzilla, and this is the American version, which was actually re-edited. And it was shot with extra footage onto it. They showed it to an American. I think it was an American company that bought it, and they John. John Beck. Yeah, he was the producer. He actually got two companies. I think Warner Brothers and Universal, and he shot like beginning scenes and scenes at the end and scenes in the middle, and they kind of edited it together with the original film to give it more of an American feel to it. And just putting new, they actually included shots of like an American newscaster who was like a UN reporter. So he would kind of describe the action, and then it would cut back to the Japanese footage, and it's actually pretty good. And another thing which I just found out recently, because I always heard that rumor that there were two versions of this movie, but actually there was never any different version. Like the American version and the Japanese version, slight details but the basic ending was the same, with Godzilla and King Kong falling into the water, and then Kong arising and swimming off, going home, swimming back home presumably, and you don't see Godzilla. And that was always the ending. I thought there was a different ending because you heard all these rumors, and it was like a myth almost, sort of an urban legend that there was a different, the Japanese version, like Godzilla won the fight, which was not the case. Okay, so I say learn something new every day. Anyway, but King Kong versus Godzilla, like I said, and as far as it's funny when you're a kid, you don't mind the little. But I notice when I'm watching the movies now that I guess I'm looking at it more critically, and the small miniature tanks, and you see the strings, and stuff that I guess you didn't care about as a kid. You just wanted to see the giant monster action, and of course now I can see when you see King Kong, and you can tell where the mask, where he lifts up the mask on the big suit that he has on. And again, King Kong, like I said in my other review, King Kong Escapes, the King Kong design was just absolutely horrible. One of the horrible design, at least in the Peter Jackson version, like I said, he looked like a gorilla. But it's just, it is what it is. But I still love it. It's King Kong, so you kind of accept it for what it is. But I just know this is really, really horrible looking design for King Kong. Like the arms are way too long, and just a really ugly, ugly face. Okay, but it is what it is. Anyway, King Kong vs. Godzilla, like I said, it's a childhood classic. I love it. I love the action. I love the the fighting, and like I said, they do a lot of wrestling holds too. I noticed that too. King Kong and Godzilla, like a lot of headbutts, a lot of charging, a lot of judo flips and stuff like that. But it's King Kong vs. Godzilla. So, but more, I would love to see them remake this now, especially now you have the technology now, and now you have a new Godzilla, and you have a better looking Kong now. That would be great to see them in a movie again. I would love to see that. That would be fantastic, especially now that the technology is a lot better. That would be freaking awesome. So I wouldn't mind that. So if they have to do that, I'm all in. Anyway, my review for King Kong versus Godzilla. Like I said, I'm a little bit biased because, like I said, it's a child favorite. Okay. And oh yeah, another thing. One of the reporters, it's almost like sort of like Abbott and Costello slapstick, because when the two reporters go to the Faroe Island to to look for Kong, and then one reporter is scared, scared. Scared. He's so scared. He basically acts. He's a coward. He acts so freaking scared. Saying that he had bad toes and just so freaking scared and just like I guess this is comedy relief that they throw in there. And of course, Mr. Taco, the guy who's in charge of the studio, the pharmaceutical company that sponsors the TV shows, he's like a character because he's a big blowhard that wants things done, and that when it comes down to it, he's like, just. But that's the comedy relief for the show. But that's okay. But I like the fights between King Kong and Godzilla. Okay, like I said, the Kong design was but I still love this movie anyway. So I'm going to give King Kong vs. Godzilla a 7.5. Okay? I'm going to give it a 7.5. Like I said, if Kong was designed better, and if they had maybe another fight, I would give it an 8. But I'm going to give it a 7.5. Like I said, a little biased because, like I said, I love Kong. Anyway, so this is Trepacer for the Horoscope 101 channel, which is video is going to be uploaded on that. So watch that. Like I said, I'm still uploading these videos on it, even though I'm the only one that's part of that channel. I'm still doing it. And also on my Trepacer Saturday reviews, Saturday horror reviews. Okay, and this is episode 13, I believe. Okay, so King Kong vs. Godzilla, I give it a 7.5. Okay, and I know it's on Blu-ray now. That and also King Kong Escapes. So now I'll probably get that on Blu-ray just to see what other special features. Hopefully, it has a bunch of special features on it, which I think it does. Okay, because I think I saw it in Best Buy once. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. This is Trepacer saying so long and take care.